Still to come, X Factor finalists One Direction discuss their meteoric rise to fame. One of Britain's best-loved newsreaders, Natasha Kaplinsky's here, and I'm back on the 80 allotment. But now to the continuing controversy surrounding the man they call the most talented footballer of his generation. Wayne Rooney, the Manchester United striker, has been heavily criticised after celebrating his hat-trick against West Ham at the weekend by swearing into a television camera. It's the latest in a long line of scandals involving Rooney, who just 5 weeks ago escaped punishment after elbowing an opponent in the head. So, with young Wayne in the headlines, more for the wrong reasons than the right ones, is it time we made an example of the England star? Here to discuss, our former Premier League footballer Stewart Castledine, Penny Smith and Nick Ferrari. Nick, it's allowable, it's just a little aberration, isn't it? Just, you know, having a quick swear.
No, it's utterly shameful. And this is a bloke who scored 3 goals, which Stuart can talk to. This is the best thing you can possibly manage in your foot match. Dear God, what would he have done if he got 4? Punched the referee on the nose. You wonder what he would have done then. He clearly isn't enjoying it if he's snarling. He sought out the camera deliberately. It wasn't on the pitch. I would suggest, there's no point taking money off the bloke. It means nothing. I would suggest that for each of the foul words he says, he misses a game, at least that, and maybe the message will get through to the stupid dolt that that's not what I want to watch when I watch football.
Stuart, you're the footballer.
Yeah.
He's a stupid dolt and he should get the message and nobody bothers because he's paid too much money.
Well, how do you defend the indefensible? This is a problem. Obviously, I want to. He's an ex-footballer. I'm an ex-footballer. He's a footballer. I take on board everything you say there. There are mitigating circumstances. He hasn't been playing particularly well of late. He was getting an awful lot of abuse from the crowd.
Scoring 3 goals can't be mitigating circumstances.
Well, no. But previously, he hasn't been having the best of times of it. And also, the West Ham fans were really abusing him. Not just him, but also his family. I mean, you should hear some of the stuff that gets chanted at him. So I know he should be able to control that.
You know, if you can't stand the heat, keep out
no,
the kitchen.
quite right. No, quite right. And I think that he should get in trouble for this. Whether he should be banned or not, I don't know. I think it's kind of more of a situation where he should be educated. I mean, in all manner of things. I mean, I think the people that look after him, now, be it his agent, be it Manchester United, be it the FA, should sit Wayne down and actually have a conversation with him. I'd imagine he's surrounded by a lot of sycophants. I mean, he's a fabulous player and he deserves all the plaudits he gets. However, I think that he needs to come on a show like this, and he needs the general public to actually see Wayne for who he is. I know that he issued a statement, but I mean, you know, did he write that statement? He needs to come on board, exactly.
Is this a PR problem for him, do you think, Penny?
No, of course it's not a PR problem. I tell you what I think needs to happen is, you know, bless him, he's a bit thick, isn't he, really? And the point is that well, you know, he's inarticulate, and this is the way he probably speaks at home and everywhere else, and nobody ever says to him, sorry, you can't speak like that, and certainly you can't speak like that to the general population, which, you know, he knows that is what a television camera is. It's speaking to everybody. I think it's also a case of the manager. Surely Alex Ferguson has to pull him to one side and say, right, OK, for each time, you know, like you say, ban him. And, you know, I just look back at my you know, I was the most brilliant hockey player, obviously. But, you know, if we ever talked back or swore or anything else, we were off the pitch. That was it. Swore off the pitch.
The days of role model seems to have gone then, doesn't it? You know, we quote Bobby Charlton, Bob Robson, people like that, and we get laughed at now.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Penny to say that Wayne's a bit thick is like saying Charlie Sheen occasionally has the odd drink, you know. I think we go considerably further than that. I don't know about Sir Alex Ferguson taking him in.
Do we know Wayne Rooney's thick? Has anybody ever seen him talked to properly?
Well, that's my point. I think that he does need his PR team around him needs to get him out there and do
a bit of rehabilitation.
Without a doubt, I'm sure he's a lovely lad.
No,
he just doesn't get the opportunity to
Stuart,
speak about.
How do you know he's a lovely lad? He has an unfortunate background in his personal relationship. Let's park that there. When England played appallingly in South Africa, he couldn't badmouth the fans quick enough. He scores 3 goals, which you've done it, for goodness sake, for a living. That is fantastic. And what does he do? He singles out the camera to be abusive down there, knowing that he knows at that time of day, particularly boys, children are watching that. I'm sorry, that to me is not just thick, it's stupid, and it's vaguely actionable. And something has to be done. If these people don't learn, they will just continue. And the sadness is, actually, Alan and you and Penny and me, the media build these people up. This great player, he'll score all these goals for England, he'll score all these goals for Manchester United. Actually, turn some of the spotlight away from him. Go and do a bit more coverage on players who do sport like rugby and cricket, where there's a bit of decency, and it might teach those soccering idiots, or footballing idiots, a lesson or two. That's what I do. Put it all on rugby.
And the trouble is, you look at this in the wider context, and the point is that this sort of thing then means that we get young people who feel that it's perfectly okay to abuse people on the streets or wherever else they are because they see their heroes doing it.
Stuart, realistically, is anything going to happen within football about this, or will they just let it go away again now because it's easier to do that and it makes more money for them to go away?
I think something does have to be done. I take on board your points, and you're right that footballers are such a role model now, and they do a lot of work, and they really genuinely do. It's not a hackneyed old phrase. Children do look up to them, and they do give back. But I think they could do more. They could do a lot more. The PFA are very good at doing what they do behind the scenes, and they try and educate the lads. But I think they need to take some responsibility, and I take on board everything you guys have said. I think that Wayne. It was in the heat of the moment. It was a scenario where he scored a hat-trick, his team have been having a bad time of it, he's personally been having a bad time of it, but it was irresponsible of him, and I think he'll realise, I think he'll look at himself and realise he did wrong.
Final word, Nick?
Where's the enjoyment? Where's the fun? Where's the sportsmanship? Where's just the fact that if you've done that, I would have thought that he would actually be joyous and he would be giving a thumbs up and look really happy. In a way, you should feel vaguely sad. If that's how he celebrates success, God knows what he's been like through the past few months where he couldn't hit a cow's backside with a banjo.
Now that's for Stuart, Penny and Nick. Thank you very much indeed.